So I want to show off a problem I'm having with computer properties, and perhaps somebody has an immediate answer for this. That would be really, really nice. So this is a mixin for an object controller, and I don't really need to go into too much details on what it's doing other than the object controller represents a parent record, and these two properties, the has many and belongs to, this mixin is mixed into the object controller, and these has many and belongs to properties represent the given relationships on an Ember data model. So I wrote this relationship macro up here, which is a computer property that will discover the relationships of those types and should return an array of those relationships for iterating. And all that's working fine. So over here on the left is the template representing the given record, and we iterate over the has many relationships, and inside the relationship we iterate over the records in each relationship and link to the given record. Same thing with the belongs to, and again this works just fine. Up here we have some metadata for debugging, and we have the record type property and the ID. We are also using the record type property and the ID in the computer property for telling which properties that it should observe for recomputing. The ID property, of course, is proxy to model.id, and the record type property is an alias down here for controllers.modelRecords.model.name, which is set in a parent route for discovering the model type that we want to look at. And it's coming off the needs property right here. So let's take a look at what happens. And if I reload this, so I'll go to Bugs Bunny, and we can see that this is working just fine. Speaker ID 4 right here, speaker ID 4. So the record type and the ID are rendering okay. Has many 1, there's only one has many relationship for this model type, and belongs to is 0, so that's fine. The one has many relationship type is a presentation, and it's iterating through those records, so records 7 and 8. Just lower this down a bit. So what ends up happening is if I click on presentation record ID 8, the URL updated just fine. However, and all this data updated just fine. This updated just fine. So the record type and the ID updated just fine. However, everything having to do with the relationships did not. We can see that the has many's is still 1, the belongs to is still 0, and the relationship names have not changed at all. Now if I go in and I take a look at the, just make this a little smaller. If I grab the controller instance, and if I force a property change on this controller, now we can see that it is properly showing the record, the relationship information. So this is confusing to me, even though I have the computer property tied to the record type and to the ID. For whatever reason, the templates bound properties are not being notified of change, even though those are actually changing. So if anybody has any thoughts on how to fix this, please let me know.